I use the Bighorn pizza oven every day for the past week. There were some successes, a few failures, and one big surprise that I'll share in just a little bit. If you watched my channel before, you know I usually go for low and slow cooking, taking my time and tending to the fire for hours at a time. But this oven is the complete opposite of that. You cook for maybe 3 or 4 minutes and you're finished. So instead of testing it once and calling it a review, I wanted to really use it and see what I could learn. So let's get into it. Here's the real reason I agreed to do this. I've always been the guy who says low and slow is the way to go. So it's kind of funny to see me cooking a pizza in under 4 minutes. And look, if I'm being honest, I figured this was going to be one of those gadgets that looks great in a 2-minute video and then sits in the garage collecting dust. Fast, flashy, not something a real cook reaches for. Let's start off by seeing what's in the box. You'll find the pellet oven and all of its parts packed inside the cooking chamber. What you don't get is pellets, a propane tank, a cover, or a peel. So if you plan to cook right after unboxing, you'll need to make a trip to the hardware store first. I already had those things, so it wasn't an issue for me. And for anyone about to comment, so it doesn't come with anything, I beat you to it, okay? You don't need to say it in the comments. Assembly is super easy. The folding legs are already attached to the unit. You just need to move them into place. I left one of the back legs unlocked, but quickly moved it into place. You definitely don't want your pizza oven wobbling while you're cooking. Now the chute or the smokestack, it fits into the hole and twists in the direction shown on the oven. It's a simple setup, even for someone like me. Now a quick note on the color here. Mine's red and it looks great. They also make a plain Jane stainless steel version. But to me, stainless is like the beige minivan of pizza ovens. It's classic, but not very exciting. This red one, it stands out and it gets noticed. And this is a showpiece, so go and get one of the 5 different color options that they offer. There's a pellet scoop that helps you load pellets into the feeder, ashtray and the fire pot, they slide in without any tools, and the door handle, it just twists on. Then there's a little tool that acts like a handle for opening the feeder, the fire pot, or the ashtray. Plus, there's a poker tool to help you move the pellets around. Bighorn Outdoors also sent me a separate box with the propane attachment included. One end connects to the propane tank, and the other attaches to the pizza oven. To install it, just unscrew the 3 small screws next to the fire pot. Insert the propane attachment and tighten the screws that come with it. For this part, you don't need a screwdriver. These screws just need to be hand tight. The whole setup took me about 10 minutes. As far as my handyman skills are concerned, I'm somewhere between knowing what a Phillips head screwdriver is and being able to put together some IKEA furniture with very minimal crying. So if I can do it, you can too. The included pizza stone is 12 inches and a standard square shape. The Bighorn logo is stamped right on the stone, so if you ever forget which oven is yours, you know by looking at it. Drop a comment with what you'd like me to cook on this thing right here. I read all the comments, and depending on what y'all want, I'll make a video about that. After I assembled the pizza oven, I loaded the pellets, started the fire, and filled the feeder tube once they caught. But what I didn't expect was that this oven needs plenty of airflow to burn properly. More than once, I found myself fanning the back vent with my hat and looking like a backyard blacksmith. The main takeaway is that this process is totally different from what I'm used to. My pellet grill auto-loads pellets and has a controller for temperature and airflow. It's pretty hands-off and dummy-proof. This pizza oven is gravity-fed, which means no controller, just you, some pellets, and your instincts. If you're new to outdoor cooking and haven't managed a fire before, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. Not a huge learning curve, but just know that the first couple of cooks may not go as planned, and that's okay. In my book, it is a lot better to mess up cooking a pizza than something more expensive like a brisket. Regardless of your skill level or where you end up cooking it, you're going to need a good dough to make any of this work. So let's talk about that. I got this recipe from the Bighorn website. If anyone knows what works in their oven, it's going to be them. Go to their site and use a pizza calculator at the bottom of the site. Enter how many pieces you want, and it gives you the exact measurements that you need. The first thing you notice is that the calculator gives you the measurements in grams, not cups, which is the right move here. I always use grams because a cup of water and a cup of flour don't weigh the same. Volume can be misleading, but grams are exact. For dough, where ratios matter, I trust the scale. This recipe makes 4 thin crust pizzas. I use 560 grams of double O flour, 360 grams of lukewarm water, 20 grams of salt, and 6 grams of active dry yeast. And today, the stand mixer is going to be doing all the work. Because my arms already have a full-time job on smoker day, they don't need a side hustle. Put the dough hook on, add the flour and the salt to the bowl, and give them a quick mix to combine. For the yeast, I bloom it in lukewarm water for a few minutes until it gets a little foamy. Add the water and the yeast to the flour, then start to mix around low so you don't end up wearing all the ingredients. Once it comes together, turn up the speed and let the hook knead the dough. You want the dough to pull away cleanly from the sides of the bowl and feel smooth, not sticky or stiff. Once the dough is ready, take it out, shape it into a ball, and let it rise in a warm spot until it doubles in size. Then divide it into 4 equal pieces for your thin crust pizzas. Shape each piece into a ball, and you can use them right away or let them rise again. If you let this sit in the refrigerator for a few days, it will ferment and be a lot easier to work with than using it right away or using some sort of store-bought dough. Enough about the dough, let's get into the cooking. When using the pellet method and the fire's going, the flame fills the entire cooking chamber, not just the center. Temperature can spike to 900 or even above 1,000 degrees, and that is way too hot. You don't want to put a pizza in yet, so wait until it drops to around 500 to 600 degrees. Cooking at 900 degrees is tough. The pizza cooks so fast that you can't fix mistakes as you go. Whatever happens is completely out of your hands. And you see this pizza right here? Yeah, I dropped it. So that one's not making it to the taste test. That's why the pizza you're about to see is pizza number 2. We don't talk about pizza number 1. I'm going for 1 minute and then I'm going to rotate it. 1 minute and then I'm going to rotate it. 1 minute and then I'm going to rotate it. Just working around so every side gets even heat. I'm doing this for about 4 minutes total, and it's going to be done. I'll take it out, slice it up, and get to the taste test. My first couple of pizzas didn't come out right. The toppings were burnt. The dough wasn't cooked all the way through. It took some patience and it took some practice, but eventually I made a darn good pizza using the pellet method. This one has a decent bottom, cooked all the way through. The top's got a slight char. Dough's airy, no flop when you pick up a slice. It's a very good pizza. But here's something that might surprise you. Since the pizza is only in there for about 4 minutes, you don't get much smoke flavor. In this oven, the wood is really just the fuel. If you want smoke flavor from pellets, you need lower temperatures for a longer time, like in the 180 to 250 degrees range. But this oven runs anywhere between 700 and 900 degrees consistently. So expect a fast, hot pizza, not a smoky one. Another thing about the pellet method to keep in mind is shutting it down isn't really a choice. There's no off switch. You just let the pellets burn out on their own. You can put the pellet scooper in the smokestack to help, but the back vent stays open. There's no baffle to close it off. So it just burns until it's done. The propane method is the opposite. Turn off the gas and it starts cooling right away. Speaking of propane, let's talk about that method. Lighting it is super simple. Turn on the gas, turn the dial to ignite, and wait for the clicks. Then once it catches, turn the knob to the highest setting. That's all there is to it. I noticed that the flame acts differently with the propane too. With pellets, the flame can fill the whole chamber. With propane, it's controlled and centered in one spot, not taking over the whole oven. It also doesn't get as hot or have temperature fluctuations like when I'm using the pellets. When it comes to the finished product, the bottom was cooked well and the dough was still airy, even though I pressed it down a lot while shaping the pizza. Since I could adjust the temperature, the toppings and the crust didn't burn as much either. And the dough was completely cooked through. So which one's actually worth your money? We'll get there in just a moment, but first there's one more fuel option worth knowing about. There's an electric element accessory for this oven too, which I didn't get to try myself, so I can't speak to how it cooks, but from what I can see, it attaches the same way the propane attachment does. It's definitely worth knowing about, especially if you're not able to run a propane tank or an open flame where you live. I know so many HOAs and apartments that don't allow them, so get the pizza oven with the electric element attachment. Speaking of grabbing one of these, I have a link for you down in the description. Right now, the 12-inch runs for $199 and the 16-inch is $239. Bighorn runs deals often, so check the link for the current price. Before we move on, I want to talk about one more thing that the pellet method has going for it. This summer, we went camping in Glacier National Park, and this oven would have been perfect for that trip. It's light, it packs up small, and pellets travel well. So it's not just a backyard tool, but for day-to-day use, I prefer propane. You get real temperature control, and there's way less babysitting the fire. So here's my recommendation. Get the 16-inch instead of the 12-inch. You'll have more room to move the pizza around, and get the propane attachment. This is going to be the best combination if you want something simple and fast, because right now the kids are back in school. We have soccer practice and soccer games and run club and glow night and escape party and all these activities for the kids. So I need something easy, quick, and something I don't have to think too much about. The propane method is just that. Turn on the gas, heat it up, and you're ready to go without spending 30 to 40 minutes starting a fire, waiting for it to mellow out, and then start cooking. If you're new here, I post barbecue and smoking videos every week. And I'm also the guy who makes pizza videos now. So subscribe if you're interested in that type of content. Now, remember when I said that there were good, bad, and unexpected moments this week? I'm sure that you do. Let me share what really surprised me. By day 3, I wasn't just making pizza anymore. I had cooked steak, chocolate chip cookie skillets, and pizza all in this oven. That versatility is awesome. But what really got me was something else. This week took me back to my early backyard barbecue days when I didn't know much and every cook was trial and error. I burned things, I undercooked things, and I had no idea what I was doing. Cooking on this, I had to go back to my bag of tricks and pull out my old fire management skills, remember how to read the flame, try to guess the temperature, and make adjustments as I went. My low and slow smoker instincts didn't help me here, and there was no controller to save me. I did not expect a pizza oven to humble me the way my first year of smoking did. That was completely unexpected. The versatility of this pizza oven is impressive, but the bigger thing was starting over. Being a beginner again, even for a week. That's something I hadn't felt in a long time, and was pretty exciting. It's always good to learn a new device, a new technique, a new gadget. Looking back after a week, this was a totally different kind of cooking for someone who spent the last decade focused on smoke rings, bark, and internal temperature. It was more hands-on than I expected, and I had a real learning curve, but it's also much more versatile than I had thought at first. It won't replace my usual cooking, but as a fast, high-heat tool, it definitely deserves a spot in your backyard barbecue repertoire. Now, if you want to see me get better at this instead of just surviving the first week, I already filmed the steak and the cookie skillet cooks, so keep an eye out for those. You'll be able to watch them here once they're live, and have a good one.